Hey guys, I'm back. Yikes. Somehow I can't seem to get a good setup where I am high enough on the camera. But let me try one more thing. Hang on. I'm sorry to do this. I hate people that do this stuff, but I'm still in week 1 of Periscope, so I am still trying to feel how the best way to do this is. Okay, that's better. I'm sorry. Sorry for the confusion to get started. I'm Karen Yankovich, and I'm loving Periscope. I'm loving connecting with you all here. It's still my first week, so I've got a long way to go, I think, in where I'm going to be with this. But one of the things I did earlier in the week was I talked through my current week's blog post, and I think that was a pretty popular one, so I'm going to do that again today. But before I do that, I'm getting a lot of questions about how to use Periscope. I'm like on day 5, so I don't feel like I'm really ready to do a how to use Periscope, but I am going to do one soon. So what I thought maybe I would do is start, I still think I'm not high enough. I still think I'm too high here, but is start like each Periscope with like a Periscope tip. How does that sound? So one of the things, tip 1, get your act together. Like, clearly I don't have my act together yet. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to position myself on the camera. But today's tip, good morning, Elizabeth. Nice to see you here. Today's tip is going to be Android versus iOS. So I have an Android phone. But I'm periscoping lately on my iPad when I'm home. My iPad doesn't go with me everywhere, obviously, but I'm periscoping on my iPad because it seems to be more stable. Also, I can see your comments better, right? The comments are a little bit bigger. So when I finally get my setup done, and I'm still working on my formal setup for my Periscope studio, I will be using my iPad. And again, the main reason is so that I can see your comments better. They're bigger. Listen, I'm not 20 anymore. I need the glasses. I need to be able to see. So my tip today for using Periscope is don't be afraid to use other devices besides your phone. Obviously, you can't really use your computer, but if you have a tablet, you can Periscope on there. I find it easier. That's just my preference. It also seems a little more stable. The iOS system's been around. I mean, this whole Periscope thing's only a month or two old. But the Android version is only a month or so old. Hi, Tracy. Thanks for joining us. The Android system is just a month or so old. So it's still not a week, not even a month, a week or two old. So it's still got some bugs. I keep freezing on the Android. I also... I can't do a lot of the same things. Like, one of the things that you could do, and I'm going to encourage you guys to do this for me because I love, if you love what I'm saying, I'd love for you to share it. But I want you to understand how to do it too. With the iOS version, so the Apple version, you can share this broadcast with your Twitter followers. Now, I have a lot of Twitter followers, so if you want me to share your broadcast, right? So I'd love for you guys, by the way, just to go to share, and you can, if you're on an Android device or an Apple device, you can share it with either individual people or you can share it with your Periscope followers. But if you're on an Apple device, you can also share it with all your Twitter followers. So that's really cool for me. I think I have like 46,000 Twitter followers. So if I'm sharing your broadcast to my followers, I'm sharing it to a big audience. You can't do that with Android yet. You can only do it with the iOS version. So I'd love for you all to share this. And again, it helps all of us understand how to use this better. I'd love to know, if you share with me a broadcast that you see that you love, that's awesome. I want to see those because I can't find them all on my own, right? So that's why if you think my broadcast is interesting to your followers, I'd love for you to share that in that same spirit. Okay, so today what we're going to do is, and like I said, I did this earlier in the week and I really enjoyed it and I got a lot of good feedback from it. I'm calling it a blog scope. I'm scoping my blog post this week, and I'm going to kind of go back and forth a little here. Sorry about that, but I want to kind of read the blog post a little bit. I did the one this week. First of all, what did I do with it? If you, every time I think I'm organized. Here we go. If you are not following me, is this backwards? I don't know if it's backwards to you guys or not, but www.karenyankovich.com/blog. You can find this blog post in its entirety here. Can you guys tell me if this is backwards or not? When I look at it, it's backwards. Can somebody make a comment and let me know if this is backwards or forwards so I know what the heck I'm sharing with you guys. Brian, good to see you. You're good. Okay, so you guys can see this forward. Awesome. So what I'm doing here is I'm scoping my blog post, okay? And so this was my blog. You can find it here, okay? And I did this week's blog post earlier in the week, but thanks, Elizabeth. I appreciate the feedback. I did this week's blog post earlier in the week. So, but I got such good feedback from it. I picked another blog post. I'm really just going back 1 week right now. So I'm going to last week's blog post. And last week's blog post was titled, Why You Might Be Leaving Money on the Table with LinkedIn and What to Do About It. And basically, the blog post idea kind of came to me. If you guys, if you've been following me at all, you know, like in the fall, I did this tour with the Conferences for Women, and the Conferences for Women had one in Boston and Pennsylvania and Texas, and there's like 10,000 women at each one of these conferences. They're massive conferences, and I did LinkedIn profile tip workshops right smack in the middle of the trade show floor for all these women. And one of the things I did at these conferences was I did a lot of profile reviews. So people would come up to me, I'd take a look at their LinkedIn profile and tell them what I thought. And what I found, I found a lot of things, but one of the things I found was that more than half of the people that came up to me didn't have a summary on their LinkedIn profile. That's just crazy, because your summary is what makes LinkedIn not your resume, right? So I kind of decided to write a blog post about that and the reasons why it's so important to have a summary on LinkedIn. So your summary, first of all, should be in first person. It's where you get to say to people, it's why it's so powerful. You say, hey, I'm Karen. I'm passionate about helping entrepreneurs and small businesses profit use social media profitably, right? It's where I can show my personality. So if you don't have that, then you're really not able to stand out from the crowd. Then you're that person that's got, an experience that you worked at Target or whatever, right? So the summary section is one of the main reasons that LinkedIn is so powerful. So please, my first tip today is please don't skip the summary. If you don't have a summary, pick up a microphone. This is actually a great way to do it. Pick up a microphone, use your phone, whatever, and just talk for 5 minutes about why you do what you do. Like I said, hi, I'm Karen, and this is what I'm passionate about, and this is who I am, and this is who I help, and this is how I help them. And just talk it out through a microphone, and then transcribe it. Then sit down and type it all out, reformat it, boom, you've got a summary. Okay, so there's more to it than that, but I want you to at least have something for now. So that's a great way to get started. So if you guys who here does have a summary? I'm going to go with does have a summary because I don't want to call out you people that don't. Who here has a summary on their LinkedIn profile? Send me some hearts if you have a summary on your LinkedIn profile. So we're seeing a few hearts, not a lot of hearts. So it sounds like we have some work to do. Okay, so it's kind of a way that you're, here we go, there come the hearts. So there's some people with some summaries. It's kind of a way where you can pretend you're being interviewed and talk about yourself, right? And I know that's not even all that always easy for us, but this is really the place to do it. This is where people are going to find out about you, your personal brand. So here's some ideas. And I'm sorry to go back and forth, but I'm kind of viewing my other monitor here. I'm viewing the profile the blog post, so I don't miss anything. The first tip is to use the first person. So you don't say, Karen is a social media brand strategist. That's just not what this is all about. I actually had one client. We do a lot of LinkedIn profiles. We write LinkedIn profiles. I have a whole team of people that do it. And I had one client and she's very established, a crazy, accredited person that has just unbelievable credentials. She's just been there and done so many things. Such a great, amazing person. And she said to me, she just felt that it was too folksy, that she wanted it to be more professional. Elizabeth's back, Furt Bacon, 1982. You're here. Thanks to be here. Nice to see you here. So we wrote it for her because she convinced us that it needed to be in third person. And she came back to us. She came back to us and told us to change it because the feedback she got from it was that it needed to be in first person. So write your summary in first person. The second tip for your summary is use every character aloud. You can use 2,000 characters. Okay, I'm Italian. I talk with my hands. So if I'm bouncing around a lot, it's because my hands are going. Use 2,000 characters because Google reads this section. Okay, I want you to stop and think about that for a second. Google reads this section. So in 2015, when we buy anything from anybody, we are searching, right? We're putting their name in a search bar. So, that's just what we do. We buy a car, we check out the dealership, we check out the manufacturer, we check out the rep, right? We probably put their name in a Google search to see what happens. So that's what people are doing for you. You want to come up. Right? You want to come up. When somebody searches LinkedIn social media expert on Google, I want to come up. So I use those words over and over strategically in my summary in my LinkedIn profile. So obviously I'm not leaving any characters out. I want to feed Google as much content as I possibly can for them to bring people to my profile. So use every character. If you can't hit 2000, hit 1995, just get close. You get the point, right? It's leaving money on the table. It's leaving money on the table if you're not using all your characters. Okay, so then because you want to be found in these searches, right, you need to think about what are people searching for that you want to come up as the search result. And you want to use those words strategically. Those are your keywords. So that's another entire blog post, another entire discussion, but you want to think about what are people searching for that you want to come up as the search result, and you want to use those words as many times as you can authentically. Oh, lots of people here. Elizabeth, Greg, nice. Thanks. I hope this is helpful, Elizabeth. Send me some love in, you guys, if this is helpful. I love those. Shell, Hypnotist Shell is here. Yay. Good to have you here. So we're not going to go into detail about your keywords here, but you need to think about what are people searching for that you want to come up as the search result, and you want to use those words over and over. Now you'll see, now that I've said this to you, you'll see examples of LinkedIn profile where people, it's called keyword stuffing. They use the word, like for me, maybe LinkedIn. They use the word LinkedIn over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And that's not what you want to do. That just, yes, it's going to bring you up in search results, but you look like an idiot when people find your profile, right? So you don't want to do that. You want to find ways authentically, every place you can, to use those keywords. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, but you need to spend some time thinking about what those keywords are. So for me, keywords are social media, LinkedIn, marketing. So media is a word. So if you look at my LinkedIn profile, and I encourage you to do that, I should write a card about that, but it's, hang on, let me write that down for you. It's linkedin.com/in/Karen Yankovich. .com/in/Karen Yankovich. Okay, so I encourage you to connect with me. I just spelled my name wrong. I encourage you to connect with me. Michael's back. Michael DeJong, I remember you from yesterday. So I'll make this neater for next time, but it's linkedin.com/in/Karen Yankovich. And connect with me and look at my profile, and you see how many places I use those words. You'll see how often I use them in my summary. Okay? Save some room when you're writing this summary. Okay? I saw that. Did I connect with you, Michael? I think I did. Maybe not. I'll look. Save some room when you're writing your summary, because at the end, you'll see this on my summary. At the end, you'll see I list my specialties. So it gives me another opportunity to use those keywords. And I don't do it in a big paragraph, okay? We'll talk about that in a second. But you'll see that I have it like a bulleted list. So it says specialties, social media marketing, corporate and individual LinkedIn profile design, LinkedIn marketing, social media, speaking, social media training and seminars, webinar marketing, LinkedIn optimization, right? So I'm using those keywords over and over by listing them as specialties. So in that 2,000 words, you're going to have a couple paragraphs, and you're going to have that specialties. You'll also notice that I have 2 calls to action on my LinkedIn profile. Elizabeth, love the thumbs up. I'd love some hearts for that. You guys, I love, if I see the hearts, then I know that I'm on track with what you guys want to hear. Well, send me some hearts. Send me some loving. You'll notice too that I have 2 calls to action in my summary. I start out by saying, and I don't remember what it is offhand, but if you need some help with your social media, if you're a corporation, knowing that you can do a better job with social media for your marketing efforts, send me a connect. Let's talk. And then halfway through, I have another call to action. Let's set up an appointment and talk if you think that I can help you with your social media. And these are free consultations. I'm not selling anything in this, right? But I have 2 calls to action. So there's paragraphs, there's call to actions, and then there's the, I'll talk to you about, okay, I'll get into that in a second, Michael. And then there's your your skills in a bulleted way. And you want to do this. So I said 2,000 characters. If you looked at one big paragraph with 2,000 characters, I can promise you no one's going to read that. So if you know anything about sales pages, I want you to write your summary kind of like it's a sales page, right? So you want people to scan it and be able to pick things up, see those keywords. So you want to have short paragraphs, 1 or 2 sentences in each paragraph with spaces, and then another paragraph with a couple sentences and spaces. You can use like emojis. You can use characters in there if you want to call attention to your call to action. And you can notice if you see mine, it's all space. There's lots of white space, so it's easy to scan, it's easy to read, because that's what you want. You want people to read it, right? You don't want people to just see this big paragraph and say, I'm not reading this. So let's go back to the call to action for a second. So depending on what your goal is on LinkedIn. So your goal may not be, my goal is I like to connect to people. So I use it for networking. I use it, eventually, hopefully those connections turn into clients for me, right? Or maybe they're just following me on my blog or my social media. So my call to action could be, go to my website, KarenYankovich.com, and I'll encourage you guys to do this, by the way, too. And on the homepage right at the top, there's the top 3 things, the first 3 things you need to do on LinkedIn video series. I do have a blog as well. It's KarenYankovich.com. That's this, maybe you missed this. That's this here, KarenYankovich.com/blog. And everywhere on my blog and everywhere on my website, you'll see that I have links to this video series that I do, the first 3 things to do on LinkedIn. So maybe that would be your call to action. That could be my call to action. My call to action could be, for the first 3 things to do on LinkedIn, click here. And you could, I'm not sure, it's probably not clickable in your summary. You probably have to type it out, but you would put your link to your thing. Or you could also, by the way, add media to it, right? So in your summary right now, if you look at it, you'll see on the top right-hand corner of the section is a little plus sign. And if you click that little plus sign, you can add media. So you can add a link to that page. So your call to action might be, click the link below, click the picture below to subscribe to my free video series, right? So you want to let people know what you want their next step to be. So if you're looking for a job, your call to action might be, I'm looking for a job. How can I find out more information? Or what's your call to action might be, maybe you have a website. If you're looking for a job, a lot of people, I've seen them doing video websites. Maybe you have a YouTube channel. You want to send people to that. So think about what's your goal on LinkedIn? My goal on LinkedIn is to make connections and to hope, and to keep them warm so that hopefully they'll turn into clients. So my call to action is along those lines. So you need to think about what your goal is on LinkedIn and have a call to action in line with that. So Shell, if you're still with us, are you still with us, Shell? Give me a yes if you're still with us. Shell is, if she's dropped off, I will tell you that Shell is a hypnotist. She's in Columbus, Ohio. So she does some in-person stuff, but she's got some freaking awesome. She's got so here she's here. Okay, so Shell has an awesome YouTube, Shell, I can't even get the word out, podcast. Shell has an awesome podcast. It's called Meditation Minis. This podcast is like 3 months old, and she's had, I don't know. I mean, Shell, give us the number. I don't know how many downloads she's had. It's a really hugely popular podcast, and it's just short little meditations. If you haven't checked it out yet, you totally should. Meditation Minis. So Shell's call to action in her summary might be 90,000. You guys, let's go on there and let's have her break 6 figures. Go download her meditation minis. First of all, they're awesome. Wait till you hear her voice. I say she's like a smooth jazz voice. But they're short, right? That's what we need now. Who the heck has time for an hour-long meditation? As much as I know it's important, I love Shell's short little meditations. I can drift off to the beach for 5 minutes and then come back and get back to work. So Shell's call to action in her summary might be, check out my podcast, go to iTunes, subscribe to my podcast, so you're, and then Shell has, I happen to know that Shell has a, she's got a path. What happens after the podcast? She offers services online. So, occasional podcasts might say, if you want more, come to my website and I'll give you more. So you have to have a goal in mind with LinkedIn, and you have to have a goal in mind with your summary. So Does that answer your question? I think I probably went way, there we go. I'm telling you, you guys got to check it out. It's fabulous. It's fabulous. So does anybody, somebody else want to jump on here and tell me what your call to action is or might be or should be? I'd love to kind of get this a little more interactive and see what's what. Got to get the call to action. So what could it be though? Michael, what could your call to action be? Tell me what it could be. Let's think about that for a second. Like, what could your call to action be? And that's what I want. I mean, listen, this can change. Nothing I'm talking about here today is like unchangeable. I change my LinkedIn profile every single day practically, because every day that I go in there and I'm working on it with my clients, I change something on my own profile. So just put something up there. Trying to figure that out, working for a big corporation. Okay, so maybe it's networking. Maybe it's networking, Michael. Maybe it is just, connect with me here or email me after you connect with me here and tell me about blah, 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 right? Tell me like, so if you work for a big corporation, let's say you're in, let's say you're in sales and you sell phone systems and voicemail systems. Maybe you can say, tell me what your biggest voicemail challenges are. Send me a LinkedIn note and tell me this. Because what you're doing is you're strengthening that connection, right? That connection is now stronger because they feel like they've gotten to know you a little bit because they sent you an email. Hopefully you'll reply, right? So there's always something you can do. The whole goal of LinkedIn isn't to have a ton of followers. It's to achieve whatever your goal is. And if your goal is to bring more business to your company, then find a way to do that. Find a way to get more intelligence, right? To get more like competitive intelligence. What are your competitors doing? What are people asking for? What kinds of things are going on in the industry and you want to know about them. So that's kind of where I would go with that. So what do you all think? I mean, do you have any questions about your summary now? I hope that you all understand now the importance of it. And the importance of having a summary, number one, and having a summary that has a purpose, number two, and number three, and this is probably the biggest one, shine your personality in your summary, right? Let your personality shine. If you've got a quirky personality, let people know that in your summary. They're going to find out sooner or later. Let them connect to you in a personal way so that they can feel like they know you a little bit by the time they're ready to connect further, whether it's hire you as an employee, hire you, to do a job for them, or just connect with you. By using LinkedIn in this personal way, it takes you a few steps down that know, like, and trust path, so that by the time they're ready to make that actual connection, they kind of feel like they already know you. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about blogging? Scoping the blog post, first of all. If you like the scoping the blog post format, give me some hearts. Let me know how that format works for you. Okay, so you like that format, or somebody likes that format. Okay, so that's good. I think I'm going to do more of these. I'm going to do my weekly one every week, my newest one every week, and then I'll do an old one. So I'll do kind of 2 a week on that. And then I'll come back, and like I said, I'll start... Awesome, Michael. I'll start off each Periscope with a Periscope for your social media tip. And then when I'm ready, I don't really feel like I'm ready yet to do a whole Periscope on how to use Periscope. So I'll just kind of share my little tips with you as I go in each one. And then maybe in a week or two, I'll be ready to do a whole Periscope on how to incorporate Periscope with your social media, because I got to tell you something, it's been less than a week and it's been really, really powerful for me already. So come back tomorrow. I'll definitely be back tomorrow. I'm not really sure what the purpose for tomorrow's Periscope will be yet, but I'll think of something. And if you have any ideas, send them to me. I'm at connect@KarenYankovich.com. If you have any ideas of the kinds of things you'd like to see on the Periscope. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow. It's a beautiful New Jersey day. I'm heading out to a street fair. And I'm kind of closing up the laptop and going out and doing some fun stuff. Hope you are too. Have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.